live. I'm Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave, and it is time to get our Stampin' Lips on. But can I also just take a moment to clean my glasses off? I've been wanting to do this for forever because they're super dirty. And now I can actually see. Yay! Okay. I'm laughing. I hope you could see my tan line. It's kind of bad. Oh, goodness. Okay. What's happening? Just go. Sorry, I'm trying to bring up my live. Okay, here we go. All right. Love the trees on the background. Trees on the background? Oh, like outside my window? It's actually a storm is coming through, just like right now. I can hear the thunder, and Izzy was down here a second ago because she's not a fan of the thunder. So anyway, I hope that you guys had a good week. I had a rough week, I'm not gonna lie. So much happened last week. Oh my gosh. First off, if you were on last week, you probably caught how we lost internet in the middle of my live, and that took a hot second to fix. Actually, it took like three trips out by the internet people to fix, and I was not happy. At one point, so my husband was here for two of the three. Two of the three. And look at how dark it got. And the third one, I was talking to the guy. He's asking me these questions. And I literally said, I'm too pretty to figure this out. The joke about that, by the way, is that my assistant Whitney says she's too pretty to do math. And so I used that to say I'm too pretty to do tech. I seriously, he was asking me what lights were on and if I could pull out one of the cords from the modem or the router, or I don't even know. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know which one is which. And so he was trying to tell me, and I seriously was like so done with the whole thing. Anyway, I literally added my husband to the call because he was at work to get it figured out. It is really coming down out there. Anyway, so I thought you all might find that kind of funny. Oh, technology is just too much. And then it has been just a week of things. A lot of things. So the internet really took, well, first of all, it took so much time. Like, you guys, two hours worth of just phone calls, not fixing, just phone calls to the internet people. Then their visits out here, of which there were four if you include when they came out to replace the fiber optic cable. And then I have been dealing with some family things with my mom. That's taking a lot of mental energy, and like a lot. And then we went to move Carl into school over the weekend, and I don't think I even took any pictures of any of that. What did I take a picture of? I swear I took a picture of something. I took a picture of downtown Fargo. I think that was it. And the bar I used to work at when I was in college. And there was a bison in front of our hotel, and I took a picture of that. That's literally it. So, bad job. I just don't even know. So Carl is moved into he's renting a house with 4 other guys. He has his own room, which is good because you would never fit 2 people in that room, I'll tell you that right now. Um, and we helped him get that set up. He's got drapes, which is great because there's a sorority that backs up to his house. And so he won't be flashing them, which is, I think, a really good idea. And then we got his refrigerator stocked with food. So that's good because he eats a lot of food. Um, and we got like posters and fun things hung up in his dorm, or not dorm, room of his house. Yeah, they, I have to laugh. They left. So this house is owned by somebody who I think used to be a runner. So it's been, runners have lived in it for many, many, many years. And then I feel like they just leave stuff behind. And so it was great on the one hand, but kind of a pain on the other hand. So he had a bed, which was great because we were going to have to either buy a bed or take a bed from here to his house. So that was lovely to not have to do because it's a 9-hour drive. And then they left a sort of semi-functioning desk in his room. And then they left a couch and love seat, except they're kind of gross. I hope they get covers for them. I'm going to check in and make sure they get covers because, you know, college boys. My sister was actually moving her daughter into her apartment earlier this week, so she saw it before I did. And she's like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I was thinking, is that good or just do I need to lower my expectations? But I think it's going to work out just fine. His rent is really cheap, so that's nice. So yeah. I think he needs to exercise after eating a lot of food. Well, Tess, he actually exercises a lot. He is a runner, so he is running 75 to, he'll build up to 85 miles in a week. So he needs to eat 4,000 calories a day to just maintain his weight, which he's pretty skinny right now. So he works out quite a bit. And then on top of that, like he walks 20,000 miles or 20,000 steps, pardon me, a day, like regularly. I wish I had more of that in my life. I was like that when I was his age, but not so much now. Okay, so Melanie, I probably will not get back to get pictures of his apartment because it's so far away. We will meet him in other places, but I probably won't get up there. So yeah. Tracy, glad you made it. No, I have not. Well, I posted a challenge graphic. I between my internet being out and all the gajillion things happening last week, I am so far behind. Last week really took it out of me. I will try and get caught up this week. That internet really was blankety blank, if you know what I mean. There were quite a few 4-letter words used last week. Wendy, you would love to share your weight with Carl. Get in line, sister. So yeah. Anyway, this summer has just been, maybe it's just this last month has been such a whirlwind. So many things have happened. So much is going on. Oh, I need like a break from life. I need a weekend for my weekend. We spent so much time in the car, bless my heart, bless my husband's heart. He drove the whole way, which was really sweet. And yeah, it was a long weekend. We drove Friday up to my sister's house. She lives in Minneapolis, and spent the night at her house, which was great. But also, I do not sleep well anywhere outside of my bed. I just don't for some reason. And I did not sleep at my sister's house hardly. I had the weirdest dreams. I can't even tell you. They're so crazy. Like really crazy. What was one of them was crazy. And then another one, what was the other one? I can't remember the other one. And then at the hotel, I had more weird dreams, and the hotel had the worst pillows. And here's the thing. I was going to put my pillow in our suitcase cuz we have like, do you guys have this problem? My husband and I shared one suitcase, but we had like a small carry-on size suitcase, like small for carry-on. And then we had a giant suitcase, and then we have a slightly less giant suitcase. So we took the slightly less giant suitcase and shared it, but there still was a ton of room in there. So I was going to throw my pillow in there, and then my husband said, no, it won't fit. I think he's down here hearing me tell the story. Anyway, so I wish I would have had my pillow though, because the pillows at the hotel were like feather pillows that lost all of their poof. I mean, they were really bad. Like it would have been fine not having a pillow. It would have been the same. So there's a crick in my neck. And then, of course, we spent so much time in the car. Anyway. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. So this week we have bingo happening on Wednesday night. There is still time to get registered. There should be a link in the description of this video if you would like to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some awesome prizes to give away. We are making 3 cards during bingo, and then we will have 3 more pre-recorded videos for you. So you will get 6 projects in your make and take packet. You can join us for bingo if you are a Stamp Happy Academy subscriber, or if you register for bingo, and you can play bingo if you register for bingo. So there again is a there is a link in the description of this video. Patricia said pillows at hotels are small marshmallows. I think a marshmallow would have been better. I stay in a fair number of hotels, with my Stampin' Up trips, and Carl and I just went on our trip, and it was way better than that. So anyway, okay, so bingo is this week, and then starting next month, we have a new catalog kickoff, I should say new product launch party happening. And I am super excited about that event. We, amongst all of the chaos last week, we actually got that planned out. And there should be a link again for that in the description of this video. And we decided to do something different this time with registration. If you register for make and take packets with your event registration, you can save money. And so that's kind of an exciting little, kind of like an early bird special. So check that out. We are going to be using 3 things for our make and takes for the new catalog launch party. We're going to be using the Gathering Moments bundle, which is like a fall leafy type bundle. The Peace on Earth bundle, which is a beautiful, beautiful bundle. And then we've got these dies, and of course, can I remember what they're called? I want to say they're called branching out dies. I will flash a picture of this for you here in just a moment, but it's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to the event. We always have such a good time. We've got some really wonderful stuff planned, and there's some really wonderful products coming out. So we can actually, if you want, I could give you a little sneak peek of some of the goodies coming at the end of this video. Remind me if I forget. So, And um, I think that is all the things. Oh, so somebody asked about this, and I meant to mention more of it when I was talking, but got I got stuck out with that. Well, anyway, what I was going to say is we have our Stamping with the Creativity Cave challenge, card challenge. I issued the challenge last week with a really cute card featuring the Label Me Grateful bundle and some DSP. It was just a really, really simple fun fold. As mentioned, I will get that post up. It's usually up the day after I do live, so it would have been a week ago Tuesday, but I did not get it done because our internet was out and I couldn't edit photos, but I should have it done tomorrow for you. So watch for that. And then I also have a fall watercolor retreat coming. It's going to be here in my home. If you attended my previous watercolor retreat, you get first dibs on registration because we do have limited space. So watch for that. That retreat is happening in October. There's actually 2 different weekends or 2 different times. One is during the week, one is during the weekend, depending on your schedule. So watch for those details coming out shortly. Like I wanted to have them out last week, but they're probably going to be this week. Okay, so I think that's everything. I'm going to flip my camera around. And we are also going to do a watercolor card, which I'm not even going to lie, I'm pretty excited about. I got to watercolor. I did bring my watercolors up for the weekend, but I was so tired. I didn't really get much done, which, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it was really funny. So Carl's new place does not have air conditioning, which isn't, like the worst thing, but he came over to our hotel, and it was really sweet. You guys are gonna giggle about this. He said to me, he said, well, he came, what, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought completely. Oh goodness. He wanted to come over because he was hot. Oh, I know. Well, we got him blackout drapes for his room, which will help keep it cool, because the sun won't shine in. And he was really bummed because he didn't have air conditioning. Now it is super cool up there. Like it was, I think, a high of 80, but not even, the day we were up there which was warm, and then at night it's like in the 60s. And so he's sleeping just fine. Oh, I know what it was. He said there's this thing you can get that blows cold air into your bed. And I can't remember what it was called. And he's like, do you think we could get that? And I'm like, how much is it? And no. Like, suck it up. I can't remember what it was called. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's like the craziest thing, but I think it was like $600 or $800, something just obscene. And so he was kind of bummed. And then there was something else he wanted that was like $10. And he goes, that's ridiculous. I can't remember what that was. And so we didn't get it. And then for dishes, he wanted to get like the 50-cent plastic plates from Walmart. And I said, okay, let's just go up a notch. And I got him a Corel set, which was pretty inexpensive. And he chose the pattern with hearts on it, and I sweetly suggested the plain white plates instead. He agreed. He didn't realize they were hearts on the thing. Anyway, oh my gosh, it was kind of funny. All right. Okay, I'm going to flip my camera. Sorry, I'm sorry, keep losing my train of thought. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. We went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night, and I woke up at like 6:30, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got a good night's sleep. I don't sleep that long typically anyway. So I felt pretty good about that. All right. I'm going to flip my camera. So here we go. Okay. Haha. I think we've got it. Okay, so as I mentioned, our new catalog, or I'm sorry, new product launch party is happening September 3rd through the 17th. Again, you can register for it. And the link is in the description of this video. This event is free for members of my Kelly and Barb's team. When you do register, you will receive a gift in the mail from us. And you can also register for make and take packets. So if you like doing make and takes with us, you can register for that at the time of the event registration and save $8, which is a great deal. So check that option. If you register and do not add a make and take packet, you will not be able to get the discount. So it's a one and done situation. So make sure you register correctly. Then, as I mentioned, we have our new, sorry, I gotta find my papers. Stampin' Bingo is happening Wednesday, and we are going to be using the Perfectly Pairs and Label Me Grateful bundles. As with any of the classes that we do, you can always substitute your own supplies if you don't have these, or you can add them to your purchase of your kit or order them online. Any way you'd like to do it, we would love to have you join us. The cards are always designed in such a way as you can create them on your own if you need to. So with other things is what I'm trying to say. My gosh, the words are not coming to me today, friends, and I apologize. Okay. Also, the in color sale continues all month long. Everything, I should say not everything, but it seems like every single thing that has in colors from this current new set of in colors of the cloud cover, Darling Duckling. I would say Ugly Duckling. Secret Sea, Strawberry Slush, and Timid Tiger. All this stuff. Kits, DSP, ribbon, cardstock, ink pads, refills, all those things are 15% off this month. So make sure to stock up. I have been ordering some cardstock and some things, ribbons, because it's a really great deal. It's better than free shipping, friends. And then on top of that, you also get your Stampin' Rewards. So that's a great deal. Take advantage of that. And when you do spend $50 or more in my online store, let me just lift this up a little bit higher, you can get the Floral Impressions All-Star Video Class Bundle for free. It is 12 fantastic projects featuring this beautiful bundle, and we are actually going to use it today on one of our cards. This was the third card I had from last week, so we're going to make it today. And then when you order with the Creativity Cave, as mentioned, you get 10% back in Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. You get an invitation to the Stamp Happy Party when you spend $35. So if you order in August, you get invited to the September party. And then when you spend $50, you get that All-Star Video Class Bundle, which is a really great deal. That Stamp Happy Party is usually the second Wednesday of the month. You can also attend if you are a Stamp Happy Academy subscriber. And likewise, you can attend our bingo if you're a Stamp Happy Academy subscriber. If you're not, you do need to be registered to watch the bingo or play the bingo. Our Sunshine and Creativity Delivered box for September is going to feature fall cards, which I'm very excited about. That's always a fan favorite every year. So you can get registered by the end of this month for next month's box. And finally, Paint with Dina. I luckily for you, I did not get the price change up, so I'm going to give it through the end of this month, and then Paint with Dina will go up in price. But if you register before then, or if you're already in Paint with Dina, you will be grandfathered in on that lower price point. So join us. We paint each month. There are awesome lessons. I did get some lessons posted before I left for our trip to Minnesota and Fargo. So check it out if you're not already part of Paint with Dina. It's pretty awesome. So there you go. I think that's everything. All right, our first card, we're going to probably start and then finish in a little bit because it's a watercolor card and we need time for drying. So I'm going to start with some Fluid 100 watercolor paper. I always use watercolor paper when I am watercoloring something because it simply does not stand up to the water if you use regular cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to use some, Stays On ink for this. And we're going to do kind of a fun technique. So I'm going to ink this up. I'm using the Perfectly Pears pair. And I'm going to ink this up on my little piece of cardstock here. Again, watercolor paper, not cardstock. And then I'm going to ink the stem and leaves up also with Stays On ink. This is a permanent black ink, so it will not bleed. Suzanne, there is only one registration link for all three of us, so you can register with the link that's in the description of this video. It's the same link for everybody. We switched over to that, I don't know, a few months ago. So yeah. Okay, so we've got our outlines inked up or on our watercolor paper. Now I'm going to take this pear. This is the detail or the solid pear. And we're going to ink this up with a couple of different colors. So I'm going to start with some Darling Duckling. I remembered it that time. I like to typically call it Ugly Duckling, which I know is not right, but I still stand by it. Okay, and then I'm trying to think if this is... Then I'm going to add some ink in different colors. So I'm going to do some Old Olive. Just a little bit of Old Olive on here. Okay, I'm just going to tap that on with a sponge dauber. Do you remember sponge daubers? Because they're kind of awesome. Okay, then I'm going to take and use or add some Timid Tiger to this. I don't think I have dedicated a dauber to Timid Tiger yet, so we're going to pull out the Calypso Coral one and hope that it works. Okay, so I'm just going to dab some Timid Tiger on here in a few spots. So I'm kind of going around some of the edges, and then I've got my olive, and then I've got my my other one, my Darling Duckling across the whole thing. Okay, so now what I want to do is spritz this. Now you can spritz the stamp or you can spritz the paper, and you'll get slightly different effects depending on which you do. So I'm going to spritz the paper. Okay, so I'm just using my Stampin' Spritz here, and you can see there's some water on here, and then I'm just going to line it up like so, and there we go. Now if you want to move the water around a little bit, you can. I'm going to spritz it just a little more. There we go. Getting a little more movement going, and I kind of like all of that. You can let the water kind of bleed and blend. Super easy, and you don't have to be super perfect with it. you know, which is really nice. Okay, then I'm going to ink up my leaf. Now to do that, I'm going to take some pecan pie, and I just want the stem in pecan pie. I want the leaves in different colors. So I'm going to take a Post-it note and stick one to cover each of those leaves. Okay. And then I'm going to remove the Post-it note. By the way, did I tell you, you know how Carl was complaining about the heat? It was a heat advisory here in where we live in Iowa all weekend long. So as we drove home yesterday, it got hotter and hotter and hotter. So it was cool in the morning because it was kind of rainy and overcast and a little breezy. So I was like literally cold. And then as we drove down, it just kept getting cooler and cooler, or hotter and hotter and hotter. Sorry. And like every time we'd stop, you know, to get gas or go to the bathroom, whatever, it was like, whoa. And then we saw some really awesome clouds. We went through a storm. And then there we go. So now it's kind of, and I like mixing, you know, you can see I'm pushing the colors around. Okay, so now we're going to let that dry. So that is watercolor stamping. And there's no real skill required there. Little sponging, but pretty easy. So we're going to let that dry. Okay, and then I'm going to move on to our next card. So we'll come back to that one and finish it all up here in a little bit. But next up, we are going to do a Halloween card. So for Halloween, I love Halloween, you guys. And can you just take a second to appreciate that it is mid-August. We are almost to pumpkin spice weather. I don't like pumpkin spice stuff, but I love pumpkin spice weather. So I'm very excited about it. And I've got a cute little card for you. Now, I don't know if you have seen, but we've got this Party Alphabet die set. It's a great big set of dies. I'm very excited about it. It comes in a bundle with the party banner dies as well, which are also a huge set of dies. Which are really fun because there's like a bajillion banners from little to ginormous. And this is just such a fun bundle. So you can get the two of these together at a savings, or you can buy them individually. So I wanted to use these letters today. And so for a Halloween card. So I'm going to start with a piece of black cardstock for our card base. And you can, this is kind of fun. You can Google some 3-letter words that you could use on a card. So I'm going to use the word boo, but you could do other ones like yay or I, and then you could do a heart and then you. Or HB, I know that's 2 letters for happy birthday. There's so many letters for 3-letter words that you can do. You can also do 4-letter words. And by that, I mean things like LOVE. I don't know what y'all are thinking, but that's what I was going to say. Or, you know, words like home or sorry, fun was another 3-letter word that I had. Oh my gosh, I had all these words and now I can't remember them. I should have wrote them down. I knew it. Anyway, so you can also kind of combine words or use like letters with a shape or something. Okay, so, oh, you guys are doing awesome. Eek, brat, sweet, love, LUV, nice, hope. Yeah, so there's lots of words that will fit on cards. And so anyway, let's make this card. So I've cut a piece of our designer series paper. This is from the Spooky Halloween, I think that's what it's called, DSP, which is right over here. So this is a really awesome designer series paper set. I just spilled all my cardstock pieces for our cards. So this comes with all kinds of fun things, including 2 sheets of die cut pieces, which are really cool. We've used this before. Here's some of those die cut pieces, which are really fun. And it's great for not only card making, but for scrapbooking. So if you are scrapbooking your kids or grandkids, this is a really great set of designer series paper. Now I die cut BOO exclamation point, and we are going to put that on our card here. But what I wanted to do with this is stamp on these letters. So I pulled out my Halloween stamps, and we've got 2 sets right now. We've got the Fright Night that has this fun little image and a couple other things. And then we've got the Spooky Halloween, which also has some fun images in it. And of course, dies to go with both. You could use one or both of these. I'm going to use both of them, but you could really get away with just using one. Here is, speaking of, there's the boo and the eek. So we've got that. But what I'm going to do is take this large image right here. I'm going to stick it on a block. Oh, Joy has a good idea. Sip with the drink set. That's very fun. Some other words. Love, you, hope, fall, fun. Oh, great ideas, you guys. I'm still giggling about the brat. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and my first letter is in Gorgeous Grape. This is honestly a color I rarely use, and I don't know why. It's not my thing. But there we go. Sip with the celebratory sips. Great idea. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this in the middle here, and because I don't want to get my fingers covered in purple, I'm just going to take this piece of paper, just a scrap paper here, and I'm just going to press on here. I like doing it this way because then I can make sure that I'm stamping it where I wanted to stamp it, if that makes sense. Okay, so there we go. There's our B. All right. And then for our O, close that up, I've got Basic Gray, and oops, let's set that aside. Here's my O and my Basic Gray ink pad, and I'm going to take and do some of the little bats across here. And I'm sure you guys can't hear this, but it's just like thundering out. I kind of love that. If you're from the Midwest, you know a good old thunderstorm is kind of just the best. So B-O, and then O. Now you can do a lot of different things with this. Happy Halloween, spooky, no tricks, no treat. You can do any of those words. I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do spooky. I changed my mind a little bit. Okay, and of course, I'm going to do spooky in Timid Tiger. So I'm just going to kind of stamp that all over the place. And with different, parts of the word showing in different areas like that. All right, and then we've got our exclamation point in basic black cardstock. So let's put this together. Now I wanted to put a layer on here, but I wasn't sure if I should do what color. I think I might do basic gray, to be honest. So how fun is this? And I love this paper is pretty neutral in color. Okay, so let's take and measure this paper really quick because I forgot to cut that extra layer. Okay, so I did 3 7/8, no, 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. All right, so let's grab a piece of basic gray. Do I have a piece? Sorry. Gotta reach. Okay, so let me just quick cut that to 3 3/4 by 5. And we'll attach this. Ooh. Sorry, I feel just all off my game today. I hope another good night's sleep will cure me of whatever has me goofy tonight. Oh, I actually was mostly keeping it together earlier today. All right, now I'm going to pop these up onto my card. And I just think these letters are so versatile. I love that they're a little bigger. I think there's a lot you can do with them. And it was actually the first thing I ordered when the new catalog came out, believe it or not. Okay. Will this fit? Yes, it will. Some more dimensionals. You could also die cut these with foam adhesive sheets. That would also work. And then I love the exclamation point. Like that. I also love that these are perfect for using up your scraps of paper. So just gonna pull this off. Now I could have also used some of the colors that come in this designer series paper, which include, and we've got a bit of room to work with on here. So I'm just gonna put this on here just for spacing purposes. I can really stick that out a little bit. We have, let's see, in the DSP there is some Petunia Pop, which you could substitute for this gorgeous grape. B-O. And then O. And then, and I did overlap those, and that's fine. And then exclamation point. Like, how stinking cute is that, right? Okay, but wait, there's more. All right, so I want some black. Some black linen thread, or not linen thread, what am I talking about? This is baker's twine. Almost the same thing, but not quite. So I'm going to tie a piece of that on here. And I think it kind of just pulls everything together without it being too overwhelming for the card, if that makes sense. And let's see if we can tie this. And then one of my favorite embellishments are these super duper cute stars. Oh, and I bet they're on the table behind me. We're trying, we're going through, we're trying to do a little reorg here in that kind of, my assistant was out sick last week, so I didn't get some of the things, some of the projects done that I needed to last week as well. And one was pulling out like retired stuff. But anyway, there we go. So, oh, so cute. Now, I think we could also take and add one of these sentiments to this. Oh, actually, I'm going to do Happy Halloween on the inside and then Trick or Treat on the outside. And I feel like I had a die, but I guess I don't know. I might quick run this through and on my machine, and we'll stamp that. Okay, so I'm going to put Trick or Treat. I could do the banner on here, but I don't want it to be too much. Oh, my poor Izzy is not happy because it keeps thundering. She does not like the thunder. Oh. There we go. Look at how cute that is. I think I might send this to Carl. I mean, you know, in a while. Trick or Treat. And then I'm going to die cut this with a quick scrap of some black cardstock. Give me just a second. And then we'll heat emboss it. Where is... Do you guys ever do this? I can't find my top plate to my die cutting machine. Oh, where did it go? Ah, here it is. Okay, so we've got our banner. And we're gonna heat emboss Happy Halloween in here. Just grabbing my white powder. And then I've got to run and grab all my embellishments are on my table behind me. Because like I said, we were going through and pulling out the things that have retired. And let's just say that did not get finished last week. Okay. Ooh, I did a good job. Yay me. Are you ever proud of yourself after you stamp something? Oh, good job, Dina. So we've got that Happy Halloween, which we're going to heat. I know, I'm living dangerously by heating this over my bucket of powder. Do you think it'll be okay? Or are you nervous on my behalf? So cute. So cute. Okay, let's put the lid on this so nobody has to be worried anymore. Okay, now that Happy Halloween is for the inside of my card. So let's just quick cut a little strip of that same DSP to put on the inside as well. And I think I'm going to put the DSP on here like this. There we go. We'll snip the excess off here. And then add our Happy Halloween like that. And I will put that on with a couple of glue dots. And I mean, you could add some, where's our basic gray? Here we go. I was thinking I could add some bats on there as well. So cute. Okay, and then we're going to put that on the inside of our card. And voila! So cute. Look at that. Okay, let me grab my embellishments. Okay. So as I mentioned, we've got these super cute stars. All right. So there's white, black, and petunia pop, but I think they kind of can overlap with different colors. Oh, and you can color them. Like I used a Stampin' Blend on that one. So we can kind of do different colors on different letters here. And how fun is that? Oh, I can even put one over here. So there we go. So cute. Oh, I love this card. Got a little powder on here, but it's not melted, so it's all good. All right, so there's our first card. That is really cute. Good job, Dina. It came out even cuter than I envisioned. All right, so our next card is a really nice little card. As mentioned, we're going to use the Impressions A Bloom. And let me just get rid of some of these stamps because we don't need those anymore. All right. Halloween is done. I'm running out of space, and I even cleaned my space. It was in pretty good shape, but you know, I always seem to make a pretty decent sized mess every time I get to stamp. Okay, so Impressions of Bloom is a really nice bundle. So we're gonna start with a 3 1/8 by 4 1/8 inch piece of basic white cardstock. Then we're gonna stamp on here. I'm gonna bring in my little scrap piece once again. And with this set, I really like using the detail image first. It just makes it a little easier to stamp. Okay, so I'm just gonna stamp kind of in the corner, going sort of diagonally around, and I'm moving my stamp so it's not all pointing in the same direction. I'm twisting it and whatnot. Okay, like that. Then I'm going to come in with the solid. Okay, and we're just going to stamp off that first bit, and then it's pretty easy to line up on top of that. Once you figure out which, oh, I moved it and now I can't. Let's see, 1, 2. It's like, now I can't line it up, but there we go. I got it. It's all good. All right, stamp off. it's a lot easier to do when you've got the whole image to line it up with. I'll tell you that right now. Normally we would do the solid first and then the detail second. It is Darling Duckling, or as I like to call it, Ugly Duckling, but shh, don't tell anybody that. That's my little secret because it's kind of naughty. But I can remember Ugly Duckling way better than I can remember Darling Duckling. It is what it is, you know. Okay, so there we go. That was the complicated lineup. Let's do the easy stuff next. So in the center of this, I'm going to use the smaller, there's two center images. I'm going to use the smaller one. Okay, and I'm going to start with some pecan pie for my solid. Like that. And then I'm going to do early espresso for the detail on top. And I think that just gives such a nice, rich, beautiful look to this sunflowery sunflower. Okay, then I'm going to clean this. Like that. And we're going to do our leaves. Okay, so the leaves are a little easier to line up. I'm going to use some garden green and some old olive just to add some variety. Oh, but before I do that, I also want to stamp in Pool Party. There's this kind of small flower. And I'm going to use that to kind of fill in. Actually, I'll do that second. Sorry, I lied. I know, I'm just taking you on a journey here. So I'm going to do garden green and pool. This is old olive, but I'm also going to do garden green. And I'm just adding, stamping off a layer. And we'll fill this up like so. And then the detail on top. And then I'm going to repeat this in my garden green. So this is old olive. I'm not going to do as many in garden green, but okay. Close that up. Now, I got these colors all from the designer series paper. So I love using, sorry, I'm cleaning. I love using designer series paper for color combo suggestions because it really kind of opens up some different ideas, I think, for colors. And we might only get a couple in here because I went a little heavy on the old olive, not gonna lie. But I think this just kind of helps fill it out. Now, where there's still spaces on here, we're gonna add in some Pool Party stamped off solid flowers, kind of in between. And that just sort of fills up some of that space so that it's not so white. And there we go. Okay. Now I'm also going to take this and do some Darling Duckling stamped off in the center of these Pool Party flowers just to kind of fill out everything a little bit. Okay. And just one more touch. Izzy, come here. Are you a good girl? Yes, so good girl. Okay, just to kind of finish this off, I'm going to take and do a little ink blending with my Pool Party. I'm going to get rid of that first bit of ink that's kind of strong, so it's just a little lighter. And we're just going to put some in the corner here, like that. And all that that does is it just kind of makes everything look nice. Okay, now I'm also going to take my Elements of Text stamp set. Pull this in here, this one, and this stamp, which is like my fave out of this set, but I really like this set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up in my Darling Duckling, stamp it off, and then I'm just going to stamp it on here. And this again just adds a nice, real subtle touch, but it just kind of, again, adds a little something to the background of this. All right, now that we've done all that, let's add our sentiment to this. And we've got actually quite a bit to choose from. Oh, I already have these mounted, of course. I think I'm going to do thanks in Early Espresso. And this on my sample, it worked better, but we're going to make this work somehow. Thanks for being there. It's not going to fit quite right because my leaf is in the way. I'm just going to do thanks. All right. So now I'm going to attach this to a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece of garden green. I know we're running out of room, right? That's how we know we're doing well, is our workspace is shrinking. Okay. Now, ahead of time, I brilliantly did a couple of die cut pieces for the inside of the card. Okay, so we're going to do a crumb cake card base. And then from the designer series paper, I've got this piece. By the way, here's where some of those colors came from, is from that piece of DSP. But I've got this piece, and you can see it wasn't quite enough to go all the way over to the edge of my card, but I liked it. So we're going to go with it. I think it's actually kind of a cool little design look to have this not go quite all the way over to the edge. So we'll just trim this excess off. So we're not going to waste our paper, just that much. And that looks lovely. And then we're going to add this over the top. Okay. Now to dress this up a bit, we're going to take some of our crumb cake baker's twine and tie a little bit of this on here. And I'm just going to go around my card a couple times. Oh, okay. Mary says, I have a gift for color. That's so nice of you, Mary. That's like just the most ultimate awesome compliment. I try. You know, I feel like I do have a good eye for color. But one thing I think I've discovered is that watercolor painting has actually taught me a lot about color and what works and what doesn't work, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this on here like that. Scooching that over just a hair. And then we're going to pop it up on our card, of course. I mean, of course. And I know I am living dangerously with all these ink pads open on my desk. I'm sure somebody out there is just like, Dina, close them before something bad happens. I will, I promise. Okay, so we've got that on there. So pretty. Now, okay, let's close a few because I hear you. I can literally hear you through the screen. All right, but I wanted to take, and you could do this with really any marker. I'm going to take my SU 100. That's probably as close as you can get to Early Espresso. And I'm opening the brush tip, and I'm just gonna smack that on here for some spritzing. That looks pretty good. And since we spritzed with that, well, obviously we should spritz with our Stella, because that's always a good idea. And then on the inside of this, I've got a piece of basic white. And as I was trying to say, probably not very coherently earlier, I, ahead of time, stamped and die cut my flower here in Ugly Duckling ink on Ugly Duckling cardstock. This is both, well, the cardstock is pecan pie, and then I stamped it in pecan and early espresso before, like I did on the stamp front of the card, and then I did 2 leaves in Old Olive on Old Olive. So I cut another strip of this. I just got to make sure my card doesn't get dirty. So let's adhere this to our card like that. And then we're going to add this die cut piece to the inside. Oh, I can't pop that up. What am I thinking? But I can use my, okay. My mini glue dots, because they will actually give me just a little lift. Look at how cute that is. And then I know this is going on the inside of my card, but I can't even help myself. I gotta just do a little curl of the leaf. I know it'll get flattened. It's just how I roll. Okay, so that's gonna go on the inside. Again, so cute. And again, we'll just tap on that a couple times. I don't know if you can see this. It's real slight, not a ton showing, but still awesome. All right, we'll adhere this to the inside of our card, and then I'm gonna say thanks for being there. And I'm gonna do that in early espresso right there. Oh, now we need some embellishments on this. So let's see here. What do we have? We have, actually, you know what we have? We have some of these little cloud cover pearls. Where is my, take your pick tool? I swear it's out. I don't see it. Oh, under an open ink pad, of course. Anyway, so I'm just gonna put a few of these on here. Now I realize I didn't use cloud cover on here, but that's what I love about these pearls, is they really can work with a variety of different colors and you would never know the difference. So a really nice, simple card. It is sunflower season right now. I don't know if sunflowers are where you live, but I love sunflowers, and they are out here in Iowa in places, and it's so fun to see them. So there's that card. Now let's come back to our first card where we did a little kind of faux watercoloring. Now, one thing when I look at this, watercolor always dries a little lighter than you started. So if you wanted to increase the color on here, you could stamp this and let it dry again. There's no shame in that. For the sake of our live, I'm going to go ahead and die cut mine right away. And then we're going to put this into a card. So I'm also going to die cut this cute little label by itself. All right, now whenever I do die cut pieces like this, I like to use a Post-it or something to hold it in place so it doesn't move on me when I run it through my machine. And then this piece. Okay, so let me run this through. I'll be right back. Goodness, you guys, it's like dark like night out. I was not prepared for that. I know we are, I heard like the last sunset during, or the last sunset after 8 o'clock has already happened. And so it's, you know, going down from here and I'm like, no, that makes me sad. Okay, so there we go. We've got our little pear, and I'm going to take on here, and I'm gonna actually use my other stamp set. Where is it? Do I have this mounted? Okay, so I'm gonna actually use my label Me Grateful. And ooh, I like this. So grateful for that heart of yours. Now what we're gonna do with this is create a little background. So one of the things is when you want a background but you're not really sure what to use, or you don't, you know, like you could emboss it or you could use designer series paper, but if none of those are quite right for what you're making, you can create a background with words. And this is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm gonna take my crumb cake pad and I'm just gonna kind of stamp this on here a couple of times. And where did my scrap paper go? And I do, you know, some full strength, some stamped off, just to kind of create the background. One more over here. Okay. And then we're going to add our pear on top like this. Now, if it's still a little too busy, you can add, because this I feel like is a little too busy, you can add something to kind of take away from that. And that's where I might come back to my paper, my designer series paper. Gonna say, which I have lost, but I have found it. It's okay. And then I think I'm gonna take this piece. Now this piece I can use, you know, sparingly, meaning not a ton. So I've got a 2-inch strip here. Megan, do I still have sun at 8 p.m.? Well, not right now. I think so, yeah. Okay, so now I can take this, and I think what I'm gonna do is just cut a little banner into this. So I cut a slit in the middle, and then I'm going in from the 2 corners to that slit. Okay. And I'm gonna put this across, and I'm still not super happy with the look of this, I'm not gonna lie. So we might have to change it. Ugh. I think it's because I stamped the first one crooked, but here is another option. I kind of like that, but do I want... Okay, that is going to be better. Okay, I'm going to try this again, and I want to get this straighter, and I think I've got it. It was on my block, just a smidgen crooked. Okay. There. Oh, so much better. There, I think that's going to be better. A few less stampings. And then we'll put this on and then this over the top. So I just think these pears are so pretty. Ooh, there's one other thing I wanted to stamp though. In the pear set, we've got this little texture-y stamp. And you know, pears are really fun because they can have a lot of different colors happening on them. And we can add a little old olive in here to kind of add some speckles. Like that. Ooh, even better. Now she's fancy. Okay. Well, thank you guys who are saying you love the cards. I appreciate that. Sometimes, you know, I often, as you probably have noticed, I often diverge from my initial plan. And I really enjoy showing you kind of the steps that got me there, if you will, so that you can see how I create. Because it isn't always, here's a project, here's how I'm going to make it exactly. I know a lot of people do that and a lot of people like that, but I kind of like showing you the process a little bit so you can see how I kind of come up with some of my ideas. Okay, so now, of course, we're popping this up. I mean, I think y'all knew that was coming. I really like this pear bundle though. I think it's very, very nice. And then we're gonna kind of curl this on there like so. But it just fits on there so nice. Look at that. And this is just needing some spritzing with our Winkostella. Oh, if you could just see how gorgeous this is. Hopefully you can. Okay, then we've got an old olive card base. We're gonna stick this on here like so. I almost feel like, could we put a layer of Ugly Duckling on here? Would that work? Hold on. Is this the right size? It's not. Oh, I knew it. But, ooh, we could do this. Oh, yes, we could. Ooh, look at this, you guys. We're just changing our minds as we go. Okay, so I've got this piece. It's not the right size, so I'm making it work by just putting it on there like that, and then we'll snip the excess. I'm just using my card stock as a guide, or my card edge as a guide, like that. And then we're gonna adhere this. So just a pop of that color, and ooh, doesn't that look good? Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. that kind of just rocks, doesn't it? Okay, now, but wait, there's more. I've got this ribbon, which I love. By the way, if you are joining us for bingo, we're using this bundle. So fun. I love this bundle. And I have to say, at first I was like, I don't know, but I really do like it. And I'm really excited about my bingo cards. They're pretty cute, if I can just say. That is not going the way I thought it was going to go. Well, shoot. I'm living dangerously, you guys. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little zigzag of this under here because I really want it on here. Oh yeah, that worked. Okay. Now I gotta put a little adhesive so that my ribbon will stick under here in my zigzag. We'll even have it go kind of in the direction I intended. And then we'll stick it right back on here like that. Like it was meant to be, people. Oh yeah. And then I just need my dots, which I fear are on my desk somewhere, but I don't know where. Ruh-roh. Oh. Okay, so there are dots that coordinate with these, and they're somewhere on my desk. But I don't know where, so that's bad. I think they're under something. Can I find them? If I don't find them, I will just add them after and post the picture. I think they might be on the other table, to actually be honest. Okay. I gotta get all my embellishments organized. The struggle is real, people. Okay, so I'm gonna add some dots to this, but on the inside of our card, I'm gonna take another piece of crumb cake for the inside to write in. And then I'm actually gonna take, I have this leftover piece from cutting right there. I'm gonna just rip like that. And then I'm going to tuck it under this. So bingo is happening Wednesday. So the sooner you sign up, the better. It is Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. So make sure to get registered before then, preferably by tomorrow. It just helps us for planning purposes. And then you can join us live on Wednesday night. It's 7 p.m. Central Time, but we will be sending an email out reminder on Wednesday with the link for the live video and the reminder of the time and everything. Also, make sure you bring your bingo numbers. If you don't have them, we will go through them quickly at the beginning of the video. Okay, so then I just kind of made this little coordinating piece, and we're going to put this on the inside of our card like this. And then there will be dots, but I can't find the dots at this exact moment. Okay, so we'll add our sentiment on the inside one more time, just because you can only partially see it. I literally can't find my stamp though. Oh, there it is. Okay, so please be with me, gods of stamping straight. Oh, they were, thank you. So grateful for that heart of yours. Love it. Again, dots will be on here. So we kind of had a little bit of a green theme on 2 of our cards tonight. So we did that one and our cute Boo card, which actually is my favorite. So let me know which card is your favorite. Let me know where you are coming from. On here, no, I'm not using the label I die cut because I was gonna, well, I could, I suppose, use it. I was gonna stamp hello on here, but then I decided to do the background sentiment instead. But yeah. So there you go. I hope that you love these projects so much. If you have questions about anything, let me know. By the way, just a reminder, I didn't actually show this because there was one on here, but I colored this in with my Stampin' Blend marker on one of the white stars, those little glitter stars. So foam glitter stars. So anyway, I will get these posted onto my blog tomorrow, and I hope that you will join us for our bingo happening Wednesday evening. We would love to have you. You can get registered using the link in the description of this video. Of course, I always appreciate it when you like and share this video. It helps me so much with YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the awesome goodies that I share each week. Well, thank you guys. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.